Hello Eisenhower artists. For this project about vanishing point, you're going to need plain white paper. Now remember, if you don't have any of this plain white paper, go ahead and use notebook paper with lines on it, but see if you can get some of this plain white paper. You're going to need a ruler, a pencil, and an eraser. I like to have a separate eraser. And then also for color, you're going to need a black marker, color supplies like crayons, colored pencils, markers, any combination of that, any color supplies that you have. All right, so we're going to get started by making guidelines on the page. We're going to make guidelines on the page here to divide it into 4 corners. You're going to do that by folding, just a gentle fold. Don't need to smash it down really hard, just a gentle fold like that, so it looks like a book. And then fold it again, so it looks like a mini book. All right, so that's created the lines that will guide us for drawing things in the right place. Now, if you don't have a ruler, there's other things that you can use for a ruler. One thing I like to do when I don't have a ruler, take a piece of paper and fold it a couple times till you get a thick edge like this. And this folded piece of paper can go down on your page and act like a ruler. Okay. Also, if you don't have a ruler around, try getting a book, any kind of book, and use the edge of a book as a ruler. Put the book down on your page. You can turn the edge of a book around your art, and that can be like a ruler. Looking at the guides, you're going to use this line here, horizontal line in half, and you're going to go a little bit below that middle line, and you're going to draw a line underneath it, right underneath it. Remember, draw lightly so you can erase as you go. So that is the horizon line. Remember, you learned about that in the intro video, the horizon line. Now you're going to draw 2 lines for the road, okay? And the road's going to get smaller as it goes to the vanishing point. So let's put the vanishing point right here on this fold. Gives you the middle of the page, and that's your vanishing point. So to draw the road, it's going to start out really wide over here in the corners and then go toward the vanishing point. So the road doesn't need to be straight. I'm going to curve it a little bit on this side and go right there, and then come over to this corner. You can have a different curve and go right to the vanishing point. Okay, so see how that gives the illusion of space? Space. Things in the art are going to look bigger up here and smaller as you go back. Now let's put the line in the middle of the road. So right here, we've got a guide of our fold. That's the middle here. You're going to put a stripe. So it's got one side of the stripe and another side of the stripe for the road. Now we're going to draw 2 large trees. So we're going to go up here and look at this middle line here as our guide, and the trees are going to be above this middle folded line. So let's make a point like right there above the fold line, and another point up here above the fold line. And we're going to start drawing our trees from the top down. Okay, so there's lots of ways to draw trees. They could be pointy, they could be more curvy, they could be round, which makes me think of pine trees. So at the top, we're going to go out like this, drawing these shapes for a pine tree. Now you're going to keep going down towards the road. You can go over the road a little bit, and then you're going to draw the trunk of the tree. Now the other side of my tree is just going to go right off the page. It's so close up here and near to us, it's just didn't fit, and it's going to go right off the side of the page right there. So over here we have this dot, one side of my pine tree. Keep going till you get near here, the bottom of the road, and draw the tree trunk. And then how much can I go over here before it just goes off the page? And up here I can draw a little bit, but the rest is just going to go off the page. All right, so I'm going to erase that line now because the tree's in front of it. So erase this line, the tree's in front of it. Okay, so we're going to draw some smaller trees to fill up this space here going towards this vanishing point. All of this back here is going to be the mountains. So let's draw a smaller tree. And that is going to be, we're going to draw the top of the tree again first. Okay, so that tree is getting closer to this horizon line. It's going to start like right about here. See below it and right about here. All right, so draw trees again like this. If it touches the one next to it, that's fine. Just hop over and keep going. Go back to the top of your tree. Draw it this way. I'm going to make the tree trunk right there, so I don't need that extra line. Okay, we always start at the top of the tree. One side of the tree, draw the tree trunk, and then draw the other. And if it touches that other tree, you have to stop, hop over it, and go back. All right, so erase that horizon line because the tree is now in front of it. Erase the horizon line. Okay, that's two trees. We have one more set. We're getting closer to the vanishing point right here. So remember, we start at the tops of the trees, make another dot lower than this tree, about right there. That's the top of the third tree in our row. The top of the tree is going to be right there. Okay, so start at the top and go out and in and out. Draw the trunk, out, in, out. Okay, start at the top of the tree on this side, out, out, the trunk, out, in, and the trunk. So these trees are just simple. It's not a very detailed drawing because we're focusing on the space, making these trees look really big, and they get smaller and smaller towards this vanishing point. All right, so let's draw some mountains now in the back. The mountains are going to take up all this space back here. And we're going to do overlapping shapes. So let's draw the tops of the mountain again, just like we did the tops of the trees to make our starting point. So above this tree here, I'm going to draw a mountain top that'll be right there, let's say. One that's a little bit lower. I'm going to skip over this middle area and go to this square. Maybe I'm going to have a mountain that's a little bit shorter still, and then one that's really tall up here. So those are the tops of the mountains. All right. Everybody's mountains are going to look different. So from this top, I'm going to curve down like that. And from that top, I'm going to curve down. I want you to keep going, keep going. If you run into a tree, stop and jump over it. It's got to go down to the horizon line. You stop at the horizon line. Okay, here's the next top of my mountain. So I'm going to go this way. And when it touches that other mountain, you have to stop. There's nowhere else for it to go. Then I'm going to have it come down this way. Keep going, all the way to the horizon line. Stop right there. So those dots that we started with, we're going to erase. Okay, over here I've got two mountains, the tops of the mountains, right? What if you want to make your mountains kind of pointy? Look at this example. Say, let's go down to the horizon line, and we'll make this one more pointy. Go down, I got to a tree, hop over it, keep going. Is there a space right here? Yep, until the horizon line, the tree covered it up. Okay, the last mountain, you always start at the top. Go down, stop at that mountain. Let's make another jagged mountain down like that. Okay, so do you like your mountains more roundish or pointy? You can put snow caps on the top of your mountain, which means you just put a little wavy line. for snow there. These clouds have a straight line for the bottom of the cloud, and then the top of the cloud has a curve, 2 or 3 curves. A straight line at the bottom. Make your curves some big, some small, randomly spaced here and there. The next step is going to be black marker. Find any kind of black marker you have. Maybe it's this Crayola kind, maybe it's a Sharpie. Maybe if you don't have a black marker, use a black pen, or maybe a crayon if you can get a crayon into these little spaces. All right, so I'm going to start with the black lines. So think back to how we started our drawing. We started with the horizon line. So what's left of the horizon line back here? And then we drew the road. Your road had a little curve. And then we started the trees. So we started the trees at the top. And then the trunk of the tree, we're just doing it like a rectangle shape. And the trees are going to go off the side of the page for these big ones here, these tall ones. All right, so I'm going to continue tracing my pencil lines. And if you guys remember from last year, this is the step called trace and erase. Trace and erase. Trace and erase. Because once you have those nice dark black lines, you want to erase where the pencil lines are still showing to make your art look so nice and tidy. All these clean areas ready to add color. Okay? Trace and erase, trace and erase. Now remember, you can always pause as we go, rewind and watch again, and go as slow or as fast as you need to look at all my steps. All right, I'll get back to you when I've got all my black lines and all the pencil erased. Okay, I have all my pencil lines erased and I'm ready to add color. So you can use any combination of art supplies that you have for the color step. I like to combine markers with crayons and also colored pencils. So any combination of these things, totally fine to use for your project. I'm going to use a black crayon for the road. So let's start adding black on the road. Maybe you want your road to be like a dark blue. I think that would look cool. Okay, now it's very important to show good craftsmanship when you're adding color to your art. That is part of your grade. You'll be graded on your craftsmanship. Is your art complete? And did you follow the requirements of the project? For this project, you're required to follow these steps to make a road, 3 trees on each side, big, medium, small, mountains, and clouds. Try your best to make your color look even and cover up all the white parts of the paper. Also notice how I'm keeping my black coloring lines all in one direction. That helps with the craftsmanship to help the color look more even. I'm just going up and down in this direction. I'm not going side to side or swirling around. I'm going up and down in the same direction, the same angle for this whole section of the road. So instead of moving my crayon to side, I'm turning my paper. But the strokes of the crayon all going the same way. And I'm going right off the paper. This is my art board, so I just go right off here and I make a mess on this art board. And sometimes later I go back and clean it up. Okay, so the middle stripe, I'm going to use a marker and do a yellow stripe down the middle. I have these thin line markers. I'm going to do a stripe right down the middle. So see how you can combine marker and crayon? But fill it in really good. Don't leave any white spots. Don't leave any paper showing. All right, next let's think about the trees. Your trees can be shades of green and yellow, maybe orange, brown. Think about what colors you want on your tree. I'm going to use different shades of green. So maybe you want to use a colored pencil on one of your trees. So I found in my crayon stash, this one's called green yellow, this one's called yellow green, and this is green green. Okay, now things that are off in the distance, far away, close to the vanishing point, they actually are a lighter color. So things that are close to you look darker, things that are far away look lighter. All right, so I want you to put these small trees, choose a lighter color. So this lighter yellow green, I'm going to put for the smallest tree. Things that are far away from you appear lighter. And I'm going to leave a space here to put the tree trunks brown. Tree trunks are going to be brown, and the smallest tree should be a lighter color. So a light green compared to the other ones that are going to be a darker green. So then my medium green color is the medium-sized tree. Now if you only found one shade of green, you can still do dark and light colors. If you just press down very softly, I'm just going to press down softly and kind of float over the paper and make a light green here. Just float over the paper so it's barely touching that page. So that's going to give me a light green compared to this next one. I'm going to press down very firm. Sometimes I break the crayons when I do that, but that's okay. We can use crayons in all sizes. And see how pressing down firm, press down hard, you get a darker color green. You guys can use a messy mat like we do in the art room. Put a messy mat on the side so you don't get it on your table. And look at this one, it's a lot darker than that medium-sized tree. All right, I have one dark green tree left over here on this side. Okay, what if you have a colored pencil? Has anybody tried a colored pencil on this project yet? I think I'm going to try a colored pencil here on the ground area where all the trees live, on this ground area. And I'm going to go in one direction only, side to side. That helps the color look better on the paper, more even and consistent. I'm just going to go side to side in between all the little spaces and fill in with a colored pencil in between all these trees, and stay in one direction, side to side, side to side, left to right. Okay, what do you think? Do you guys like using colored pencils? Colored pencils did a good job here for this part, the ground in between all the trees. So make sure that you have some dark trees, medium colored trees, light colored trees. You can use yellow back here for the light colored trees. Now when it comes to the mountains, you can choose any of the cool colors for your mountains. So green, purple, blue, different shades of purples and blues. Yes, your mountain can be blue. If it's green, it might look too close to all this other green trees and ground, so maybe you wouldn't like too much green, but you can decide, try it and see. Now I put snow on the top of these, so I'm going to leave that white, and we're going to leave the clouds white. And you'll need to fill in your sky. So be very careful with your sky, don't get too sloppy. Just do little sections at a time. I think colored pencil or crayon is the fastest way to do the sky. Go in the same direction. Don't try and go across the whole thing at once like that. Do a little patch and then go on to the next patch. Do a little patch, then go on to the next patch. All right, I'm going to add the rest of my color. I'll get back to you when I'm done. Okay, I'm done adding color to my vanishing point drawing. I wanted to show you a couple things with the color step you can layer 2 colors of crayon on top of each other. So I found a couple different shades of crayons, and a lot of times when you look at it, you can't really see what sort of blue it is. Look at that. It's a lot different than I expected. So turn your page over, put a little mark, and see what shades you have. This one had more purple in it, so I found 3 different shades of blue in my supply stash. And then you can layer one color on top of another. See right here where I still have some like white parts of the paper showing up? I'm just going to layer 2 different colors right on top of each other. 2 shades of blue. I'm going to get as much color on there as you can. Cover up all those white bits. Same thing with the sky. I started with a colored pencil on the sky, but I can go ahead and put blue crayon right on top. So let's see what that would look like if I put a little blue crayon on top of my colored pencil sky. Ooh, that looks kind of cool. I'm going to do that and put a little bit of darker areas in my sky. Look at that effect. I'm adding crayon on top of the colored pencil. All right, Eisenhower artists, I'm really excited to see what you came up with for this vanishing point drawing. I'm excited to see what your trees look like. Make sure you show good craftsmanship with your color step. And don't forget to turn in your artwork. See you next time.